Hey up, folks. Everybody is, of course, talking about the case of Axel Rudakubana, the so called Welsh choir boy who's just been convicted of slaughtering three baby girls. And lots of questions are being asked. Some of them, I suspect, put forward by the government as a muddying the water exercise. The obvious one, which quite a few tabloids are asking, is how did he manage to acquire a knife so easily? Let's blame everything on Amazon. The fact that more than one paper is doing this suggests to me that they're being fed that line by their sources in government. I have a question, which I don't think anybody's asked yet. Uh, and the more I think about it, the more curious I am. Think about the photograph, the mugshot of the killer that has just been issued. It shows him, well, what can I say? Fuzzy wuzzy hairstyle, uh, eyes clearly distorted. He's looking up with his eyes. He's put his lips inside his mouth to disguise his lower features. Before he, before that photograph was issued, the only photograph we had was of this angelic little schoolboy, and then we had courtroom sketches that showed him holding his T-shirt up over his mouth and nose. Here's the thing about, oh, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, I found myself in a pub chatting to a young Israeli tourist. We had a few pints, and I remember we talked about football in Israel and the Israeli army football teams, which are not very good, by the way. And somehow the conversation turned on to Israeli intelligence, which is rather good. And this young fellow told me that there was a sort of standing order in Israeli security that if you are taken prisoner and stuck in front of a camera for a mugshot, you should try to change your appearance. You can inflate your cheeks, you can widen your eyes. If you have time before you go on camera, try and grab your comb and change your hairstyle. Whatever you have to do, do it uh, so that if you in the future manage to escape, the only image they will have of you will be of this mugshot, and it may help you to make your escape. Now, interesting thing is, going back some years before that meeting to, I suppose, the beginning of this century, I remembered some hours after I'd said goodbye to the Israeli that I had a mate who had, after Oxford, gone to work for the intelligence services. And one boozy afternoon, yes, it always involves alcohol in this country, doesn't it? One boozy afternoon, he told me some of the tricks. None of them ultra secret. He could have got them all from a James Bond novel. Um, Wearing a coat that has two sides, so you can reverse it quickly, um, was one. Uh, but the one that had stuck in my mind, but which I managed to forget about completely by the time I met the Israeli, was this trick of changing your appearance, if possible, for a mugshot. Uh, Again, for the same reason that the Israeli came up with it, that if you manage to make your escape, then it's hopefully more difficult for the people who are chasing you to identify you. This is in the days before camera recognition and artificial intelligence and all that. Now, the question is this: how did some 17-year-old kid discover what is, I suppose, basic intelligence service tricks? Somebody must have told him about that, the need to change your appearance in case you are able to get out of custody. It strikes me that the seaside killer is doing that, changing his appearance. Now, if he's doing that, is it too fanciful to suggest that he has confederates on the outside who may be willing to hide him should he manage to make his escape? I don't have an answer to that, but I'm curious to know if anybody does. Think on, folks.